Okay, I have a DFRobot module here, the DFR0768. It's a mini MP3 player for Arduino. I need to solder these header pins to the module here. This is the MP3 player itself. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get my tweezers. Here's an up close image of it. And the other side. So I need to put those header pins in these lines of holes here on either side. And I'm going to make this the top side, the side that I can plug the USB in to download the MP3 files. So these are the header pins that it came with, and then it came with the module. A trick in getting these kind of header pins on boards like this is by using a breadboard. I'm using this smaller 400 point breadboard, and taking your header pins, and I'm going to need to, they gave me more than I need here, so I'm going to have to trim what I need, and I'm going to have them go in like so. I'll show you in a minute. So I'm going to need to trim these header pins that they gave me, and I'm going to need 6. And just snip that off. But the way I'm going to install these is I'm going to have this side up, and I'm going to have these header pins, the short end, go through the holes like that, and then the longer ends poke out like that. Once I trim this other one, I need 6 for this one as well. Once I trim this other one, I'll show you a trick to solder these on to the board where you don't have to mess around with anything, and it'll stay where it needs to, so you can solder it. So I'm just going to trim it. So I have them on there like this. So to keep everything nice and steady for me, so I can solder the pins on this side, I'll use the help of my breadboard down here and just fit them into some holes here. I'll press down, being gentle, and I'll use the breadboard to hold everything in place, and I'll solder all those pins into the board, and that'll be it. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, I think that's it. It's not pretty, but it's on there. And having the breadboard keep everything in place makes soldering these header pins way easier and much quicker. I remember when I first started out soldering header pins to these little boards like this, and I didn't know the trick. I used to fight it. I would try to prop it up onto a table and try to do it, and it'd shove around everywhere, and my solder iron would shove everything around everywhere, and it was just much more difficult without using a breadboard. Makes things much easier to put it all in place and solder all the header pins just like that. So now my DFRobot 768 MP3 player for Arduino is ready and set to go for the next project.